Welcome to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Clash midnight on the blue side, Pandas on the red. Myself, Sofjan, with Solari. We're here so excited for our first match of the day, aren't we?
We are very excited. What a way to start the day today. Oh my god, we have so many games ahead of us. I am beyond excited. But let's maybe focus on this game that we have right ahead of us, because I am still trying to unwrap all the puzzle pieces that these teams have thrown at us in the face of the draft, because there are so many things that you could decide to play around as both of these teams. And I am looking at Clash Midnight. There are so many things on their team that can go completely out of control. Like Senna, for example, if you let her get to her stacks, she is going to just annihilate everything on the enemy team. But then, if you're Clash Midnight, you also look at the enemy team and you're like, yes, I want to give my Senna, free farm and free kills. But then, if the same happens with the enemy top laner, if she gets out of control, Mordekaiser is going to be a menace to deal with in the late game. What do you prioritize? Do you want to feed somebody on your team, or do you want somebody on the enemy team to stop from scaling to infinity?
I think it's very clever to try to deny the Cassiopeia, as I said previously. On the side of Pandas, there is no way you can kill anyone else, right? Because the Cassiopeia and the Jhin are not going to have any mobility, but the Cassiopeia is alone in the mid lane, and the Jhin is not alone in the bot lane. Who is not alone is Delicate as well, with this 3 women gank, and they're going to flash away, but the stun is still going to hit. The exhaust is there, and a very quick first blood, unfortunately, for the support is going to go for.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
What do you mean? You want the gold on the carries?
No. You have Eva Luna as a support. She is the carry of the team, okay?
You are correct. You are correct.
You stand excused. That is all good for Pandas. They have the first blood. They have denied Delicate the clear on in the jungle. Oh my god, they're fighting again, aren't they? They are fighting again. They're just non-stop fighting. But look at that. There is a Maokai right here. Hello, says Ender. They're going in. There is a lot of damage coming in onto Kiana, and I don't think she's getting out of this. Look, she has flashes. No, she's done. The fourth shot from Stratos Panda, almost paying with her life. But no, she's getting out of that thanks to her incredible team. She's out and safe and alive.
Impeccable, I would say. Impeccable there. They managed to get their first blood in the jungle. Solari, then they have the transition through the bot lane. So well executed. You got the kill. You didn't let anyone go down. Very, very swift. I love this confidence.
And now we have kills on both of the bot laners, so you should be happy because the kill distribution has been fixed for you. I love it. I love it for Pandas in general. They are denying so much priority for Clash because they have their AD carry, they have their support and their jungler who really want to get their level 6, especially for their jungler. Delicate with no flash and no possibility of a fast clear in the beginning of the game. Look, right now she's in the enemy jungle, so she's trying to balance the things out a little bit, but still it is a lot of tempo for the early game denied for Team Clash. The only place where they can still try to gain this tempo back is the top lane.
And there they are. It potentially could be something nice if we saw C going in for a push, but she's not. She knows better. She's going to be freezing the lane, because if you have engaged as your team into an invade, you know that the enemy jungler is going to try to punish you just right back. And that's what's happening here. Very nicely done. And overall, now we have both junglers on different sides of the map, so Vi is definitely going to prioritize the farm.
Or maybe see if she can do anything around the mid lane, because there is still Cassiopeia there. But it looks like Lilian has the lane under her control. She's farming 2-2 with Sha. She's making sure that the lane is always on the enemy side, or at least in the mid lane. So it looks all good for the mid lane of Clash right now, which raises a question. Is Delicate going to try to gank any of the lanes right now? Is she going to show up and have a presence somewhere in the lanes, or does she want to keep power farming until level 6?
I'd say power farming into level 6 is a very good choice. But at the same time, you have Ender being such a nuisance already. Really stealing everything as it pops up on the right side of the map. And it's going to make life much harder for Delicate herself. There they go. They're going in on Lilian from behind. They didn't have any vision on it. Quite a lot of damage back onto Sha, but it's going to be a very nice kill onto Lilian herself. When you have the advantage of controlling the enemy jungle, it just makes life much easier for ganking.
And it makes life so much easier for ganking when you are ganking the lane of Cassiopeia, because she's just going to throw that miasma right on the floor and be like, yeah, Lydian, I'm sorry. I know you don't even have level 6, so you wouldn't be able to use your ultimate either way, but you know, that little flash that you have, I don't think it's happening. I think you're getting here, you're staying here, and you're getting killed.
Yes, definitely staying here. Not going anywhere, says Cassiopeia. And I love how you highlighted Cassiopeia as such a good pick for the team, and they really made use of it. It wasn't a ban, so it was straight up a pick for Pandas. Bot lane, a lot of aggression for the side of Clash, because well, they know they can do it. As long as you have a Nautilus, you have a lot of pressure mentally on the enemy, don't they?
You have. At the same time, though, there is Braum on the enemy team. Braum is, again, very, very excellent into Nautilus. He denies him pretty much anything that Nautilus would like to do, be it on the lane or later in the big team fights. And so far, it has been helping the bot lane quite a lot on the side of Pandas. I don't see the farm start right now, but it should be fine for Stratus Panda. The last time I checked, it was going pretty on par between the Cosmic and the Stratus Panda side.
It's very important for both teams to keep that on track, because if you're Clash, you know that your jungler is behind, and that's why they really need to power farm. That's what they're doing. They have a little bit of a lead on CS, but it's just because they know they don't have any place to do anything else in regards to ganking. That said, Lilian is going here, scouting around with the bot lane too, because this first Drake is on, and it's a cam tag, Solari.
Ooh, it's a really nice Drake, and it's a good Drake to have because you know it's not going to be a cam soul anymore, so you take it and you know that some better souls are going to be unlocked for you very, very soon. There is a lot of action already happening around the Dragon Beat. Both of the teams are looking into possibilities to go onto it, but there is no clear prior in either of the lanes, the mid lane or the bot lane. Though that was, if only there was some vision available for you two ladies there in the bush, you could have gone onto Lilian.
I was a little worried. I thought it may be going to be a blind pick. It was not, but still, the fact that there was no vision, as you pointed out, Solari, for neither of the teams didn't result on any kills, just some scouting around the Drake pit. There is a detection ward from Pandas, so that's going to help them quite a lot, but Clash knows better as well. They're going to push this lane here, try to get the dominance so they can clear out that vision and go with Vi onto the pit.
What is very important for Clash right now is to try to get more gold into Lilian, because she's behind in terms of items, and we're talking about the Cassiopeia on the enemy side, who is going to go into the Road of Ages as her mythic item, which means Ari really needs to try to rush to her own item as soon as possible to stay on par with her. Cassiopeia going into the Road of Ages means that the late game potential for Pandas is going to be incredible. The amount of AP damage coming from this Cassiopeia and the fact that it's going to be super hard to kill her on top of that as well is something they really need to try to deal with earlier, preferably in the mid game.
Oh, would you look at that? We have Ender going in on this one because they saw there was an opportunity, no bot lane to be found. So they're going to get this one first, Pandas. And Clash, while doing that, they're going to guarantee the Herald themselves. Do you think, is there any bonus or any advantage of getting the Drake earlier? Do you prefer the Herald earlier? What's your favorite choice?
Pre-14th minute Herald is pretty much the obvious choice for you, because you're going for the additional gold from the plates. You get a little nice early push, which can help you open up the map even more for the further objectives, including the further Drakes. But in this scenario, going for this Drake, I would say it gives even more value for the Herald, because this is just a cam Drake. Yes, it's opening the path for the Drakes, but as itself, it doesn't really give you that much.
I agree, Solari. I think the Herald, especially when you're so early into the game, there's so much time left for the platings. Anything else you could give to Liliana, as you mentioned earlier, that would be huge. You want to have her at least a little bit ahead. She's a little behind in CS. She doesn't have that one kill that Cassiopeia does. So far we have Pandas with 3-0. Do you think there's any place in particular where you'd want to see Clash trying to go for a kill?
Top lane. When you pick Olaf, you want to see this lane being proactive. You want to unleash the powerhouse that Olaf is during the early levels. So far, there hasn't really been any action on the top lane. He's farming super consistently, but Olaf is not really. Oh my god, many kills right now. Lilian is going for a kill, trying to get something. There is so much control, and there is Stratos Panda shooting from the background as well, but no kills in the end. Oh my god, Ender, how did you get out of this alive?
Well, I think the answer is the curtain call slowing them down was definitely something to help Ender get out of that alive. So even if you would think, well, Stratus Panda wasn't going to get any kills out of that, still, it's a very nice long-range CC that you're going to deal on the enemy, and that helped your jungle escape. So I think that's a good one.
No, it's a very good one. As long as the jungle leaps is really important for you. There are no major objectives on the map right now, which means you don't really need to have your jungler with full health and to have them have their ultimate as well. So, you know, as long as they just get out alive, you are very happy with the result of the fight.
Yes, you are. Right now, no objectives on the board, and QLASH still trying to get something going, but defense from Pandas and their awareness as well has been very easy to predict, and they're going to be able to keep themselves safe for the moment, especially when you have a big support like Evoluna. What a shout out. What a shout out of a powerhouse. There is one reason why Kiana got the Nautilus on her hand. It's to deny that from Evoluna.
And what is important, it's not just Nautilus that you know you have for your team, you have denied the enemy this big and everything is good for you. No, this is a Nautilus that is also farming on top of everything else, because this is a fasting Senna. This is a mutually beneficial relationship we have on the bot lane for Clash, because Senna is fasting, which means she's getting more stacks and she gets them quicker. She gets to her powerhouse of stacks as quick as possible. Yes, she's going to suffer a little bit in terms of the gold because of that, but this is the Senna that is going to scale massively, so sooner or later you will get to these items eventually. And you have Nautilus, who is getting the gold, who is getting to the support items, and we have already seen how much even Shroud brings to the table when it comes to team fights, if you have it on Nautilus as quickly as possible.
The Senna has been building quite well those stacks, as you mentioned, Solari. I think she's on around 35, or was it 25? And as you said, you really rely on that. So this mutual beneficial relationship is going to be super great. Delicate is coming in from the Fog of War. There is the clear vision that Cosmic has going on. No traps from Jhin are going to get them this time. And we'll see if anything is going to come out of it. Are they going to fall for it? Have they spotted Vi on any ward? I don't think they have. There's plenty of vision for the blue side on the river.
Maokai is not recalling. Actually, Maokai is staying. They see Vi right now. The Herald has been released, so they really want to go for those turret blades on the bot lane. Actually, with the ultimate from Maokai going in, only going to hit one in the end. Are they going in? Oh my god, yes, they are going in with full engage, coming in from Brown with the ultimate. And the Clash bot lane is trying to get away with the ultimate from Senna, getting a little bit of shielding, a little bit of something to get away with. Yes, it's going to be more than enough for them.
I think both teams, as we mentioned on the draft, they are so difficult to kill, aren't they? You really have to use so much to be able to get there. And it's going to rely heavily on the items at this point. We don't see that happening. Oh, no! It has to be a flash away from Evoluna alongside the W. You don't have enough damage there. Lily, okay, the rest of the team are going on too. Ender, they're going to go deep in the jungle. Curtain call hits, so you're going to slow them down at least a little bit. You're going in. Senna might take this one down. Double kill for the Olaf. That is huge for the top laner of Clash, as now 5 seconds into this Drake spawning, they have full priority on the pit.
This was the perfect timing for them to have the fight, wasn't it? Right before the dragon spawns. And you know, there is no jungler or the mid lane for the enemy team, which means there is absolutely no way that Pandas could try and go in and contest this Drake. It's going to be just the first one for Clash, which means if we get some Juicy Soul, both of these teams are going to be able to stack up 3 dragons on top of each other. This is actually beneficial for either of the teams. No, we're having a Cloud Soul. Could be, you know, I was hoping for Inferno or something, but it's okay. It's fine, we'll take it.
Well, if you think about it, the extra movement speed is going to be good for the Olaf if you're Clash, right? It's going to be good for the Olaf, it's going to be good for the Ahri, it's going to be good for the Vi. I like it. It's not that much beneficial. I mean, for Pandas, the Jhin could benefit quite a lot from it, especially since he uses the fast boots there. At the same time, I think Clash would be the one to benefit the most. So since you mentioned earlier, very important to get the first Herald because of the platings. We have just reached the 14-minute mark, so platings are down. And with that, they have guaranteed the extra gold from the platings. And if they want to stack onto the Drake, they have the opportunity for that now.
And since we're at 14th minute in the game, I think it's very important to look at the overall stats and the difference between the teams. And the difference is almost not there. There is a slight gold advantage for Clash at this very moment, but it's tiny. It's getting bigger. They are making sure to increase the gap. But overall, the difference is tiny. We have seen already much bigger gaps yesterday by this time in the games. Which means that this is not going to be, it's not going to evolve into a one-sided storm. 2-3 is the situation, 1-1 in terms of the Drakes, maybe 1-1 in terms of the Heralds, because it has spawned. And it looks like Ender is already there, looking into possibility to sneak it away from the enemies.
And we'll see if that's going to happen. Senna has rotated to the bottom lane and taken down the first tier 1 there. Very nicely done. It's going to be the first break for Clash as they're trying to gather around this Herald. There's too much defense coming out from Pandas, and it's going to be Ender taking this one very easily. And as you said, 1 Drake for each team, 1 Herald for each team.
And can we go back to this Olaf for a second? Because I love how Clash are using Sana right now. Yes, the double kill was super good to have, but also the fact that Olaf is such a good split pusher, and at this moment of the game, he's still super strong up to the point where there is nobody at Pandas who could try and go and kill him solo on the side lanes. Clash can unleash him, split pushing crazily on the other side of the map when they're doing an objective, knowing that it will force Pandas to split throughout the map as well to try to answer that on both fronts.
One thing that I want to point out, Solari, is the incredible parity between 2 mid laners there on the CS department. 144 versus 144 bot lane as well, when you have a Jhin 180 farm, but then the fasting Senna within 103 Nautilus. Excuse me, you have the Nautilus guaranteeing as much CS as this Jhin. Jhin has the damage, he has the attack, he has the AD to be able to take down the minions so easily. But the Nautilus, what a great job from Kiana.
It's Nautilus, what can I say? And it's Kiana playing on Nautilus. We talked about how great both of these supports in these teams are, and they're just going to highlight themselves for you throughout the games. And I want you to keep your close eyes on both Nautilus and Braum because they are exceptional. And this is how good supports are supposed to be played in a competitive game. Let's see what's going to happen next, because we have a little bit less than 2 minutes before the next Drake is going to respawn. Again, this is not the highest priority of a soul, but still nice to have. It gives you additional gold, it gives you some bonuses, so, you know, we could see both teams trying to work around this objective.
I think, Solari, that the biggest difference here for Pandas is that you don't have C stomping out just yet. And of course, if you are a Mordekaiser and you are a team that has picked Mordekaiser, you know that that's not going to be the case. But Clash has been super smart as well, because one of the mistakes from the previous team that played against C was that they went on the top lane twice in the early game, and then C was just able to get the first blood both times. This time Clash didn't do that, so you're not allowing even any sort of presence for C to be able to stomp, and she's even fallen behind in regards to CS for the Olaf, which is not that difficult. Olaf can do so much. Ender's going to go in on Lillian with the help from Braum. Tries to get the passive on. It is there, but it's not going to deal the stun just yet. You have the ulti from Senna. They're going to get a lot of shielding from it. Liliana goes in with a Spirit Rush, but didn't have enough damage to take it out. It's going to be Pandas taking this kill with Ender. They're trying to get away from the curtain call, and then they dodge it. Nobody's going to go down, but it's still like 1-0 for Pandas. Excuse me, it's a 1-for-1 because of a kill on the top lane. There you go.
What? How did it happen? I can imagine how it happened, but we didn't see it, unfortunately. But Sana is getting another kill. She is 3-0-0. This is a really scary Olaf to deal with, to be honest. The Herald is... No, it's not going to be a turret answer for Pandas, so Clash still have a standing ground on the mid lane, which is super important, because if you look at the timing, 30 seconds before the Drake is going to spawn, if this turret went down, it would be pretty much a disaster for Clash on the board part of the map. Though, they're doing really good on the top lane, with Olaf just absolutely popping off, and I love it, because we had our expectations about the top lane. They were very high, because these are two very aggressive top laners going against each other, and I love how we didn't really see much action in the very beginning of the game, either from the junglers or the top laners themselves, but now they really are starting to show us what they're made of.
It's going to be the second Drake taken down by Pandas, the first Cloud Drake for the team, and the map has been unlocked. You have the fast zones. It's going to be much more mobility, of course, not as much as a Hex Texel, but it's still very nice for engages and disengages as well. Pressure from Clash is getting here onto the mid lane, but no minions to back them up. One thing that I wanted to say, Solari, is that we have almost reached the 20-minute mark. Yesterday, the 20-minute mark was the moment where we knew who was going to win. This is such a close game.
Yes, but I think we need to give it 2 more minutes. Somewhere around 2 minutes, because if you look at Sha, she's already 2 items, but her Vote of Aegis is not fully stacked. She is going to get to level 14 with it, I assume, somewhere. I am never good with math, so please don't come at me for that. But the moment she gets it fully stacked, her with 2 items is going to be at her power spike, and she's going to be a super big menace to deal with. I think it's something we really need to wait out and see how it's going to unravel. But the fact that we're almost at 20th minute means that we're going to see the Baron spawning up soon, and both of the teams are going to rotate to the top part of the map where Clash still have the advantage in their hands.
They're going to go in. Clash getting the upper hand. They're going to take down Ender before Nature's Grasp, there you go, ends up going on to the enemies, but they were still knocked down. A lot of pressure here in the mid lane for Clash as they now have taken down the jungler for Pandas. Maybe they're going to try to even assert some dominance here for the Baron. They're going to start it. Senna knows that they can really rip through it. Delicate as well as a Vi. They don't have vision around the pit. No, yes, they do. No, they don't. They actually have vision from Pandas inside the pit, but they're going to go on Lillian. They haven't taken her down with the stun. The Senna is going to deal some damage, but alongside her, it's going to be Olaf taking down the support for Pandas. Maybe it's going to be C taking that one back. Kiana's going to go down. Curtain call hits. Another kill is going to be guaranteed this time for the Senna ADC. So a 2-for-1. No, yes, a 2-for-1. There you go.
So it makes 2-0 to Senna as the result of this fight, and I think we really need to take a moment to talk about this Senna, because we talked about her individually, about her on the bot lane. We haven't really talked her in the sense of being in this team, and this team fight perfectly showcased to us why exactly she's so strong. Because there is one thing that Senna really needs from her team, and that is a lot of front lane that just stays in front of her all the time, so she can shoot through them. She can spot them from far ahead, throwing in her heals and throwing in her ultimate. And her ultimate and her healing were absolutely on point in this team fight. She kept everybody alive, and at the same time, she was dealing damage. An AD carry who can do both things is impeccable in fights like that.
And we see her coming back from the base as well, Solari, with the Noon Quiver. And with that Phantom, it's going to be so great. The Yomu's Blade, there you go. It's going to be so great for dealing the lethality damage that you want to have, because you're going to have more Healies, you're going to have more damage, more shields as well. This is such a complete champion. I think it was a very good choice, rounding the Clash composition out with the Senna. I don't think they're going to try to fight anything for this Baron. There's already a flashback from the previous fight. I don't think it's any worth it to try to force this one.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Clash were really going fully to commit to Baron last time. It was a very successful bait to make sure that Pandas are going to go into the speed while they didn't have Maokai with them. They knew that without Maokai, they didn't really stand a fighting chance there. They still decided to go in just to disrupt this Baron from actually happening, and it brought in the kills for Clash that they really needed. Right now, Clash are really strongly in the lead, in control of the map. They still are keeping Olaf on the sidelines, which I absolutely love, because this is where Sana is going to be the strongest at the moment. There is a very nice gold lead for Clash as well. It's going to be hard for Pandas to find their way back into this game.
It would depend on a mistake from Clash, I would say, or even from Pandas trying to predict when it's going to be a bait from Clash, since they have done that in the Baron buff, as you mentioned, and then them reverse baiting it, pretending that they have been baited, but coming out with a flank, coming out with a TP from behind, from Sha, for example, as the Cassiopeia will be super effective with the Petrifying Gaze.
And Cassiopeia is still building up, by the way. It's going to be a Void Staff by what it looks like. And finally, the 10 stacks on the Road of Ages. This is Cassiopeia that is really hard to deal with. And the beauty is, as you can see right now, she is on the sideline. You can send her to be a split pusher. That is same idea as Olaf, right? She's really hard to kill if you're going against her solo. You need to pretty much treat her as a raid boss from the enemy team. And at the same time, if you need to bring her into the team fights, she's running with a teleport, so she can join you really quickly. And she's going to bring in a lot of damage and so much control against the enemies. So we're still talking about Clash wanting to be able to move around fights freely. Cassiopeia completely denying this for them is going to bring so much value for Pandas.
I love to see the dynamic for Cosmic and Kiana on the farming front. Just leave everything almost down. Oh, almost down might be Lilian on this one. They don't get the actual stun on it. Nice shield coming out from the Senna, Kiana, and Cosmic trying to help from afar. But it's going to be 2 ultis from both mid laners. And while that was happening, it was the Cloud Drake for Clash, second for both teams.
So yeah, 2 dragons for 2 dragons, going pretty toe-to-toe between the teams here. But look at the mid laners. Look at them again. Look at the itemization difference. we have the Snake going into full damage. We have Ari going with a much more defensive build because she's being forced into it. Otherwise, she's not surviving. She's not living for long enough to deal damage. Maybe it's going to be different now. Finally, we see the raid boss situation with the Cassiopeia, but nobody is able to catch up with this raid boss. She doesn't need to buy the boots to be the very quick Snake.
Definitely. You're going to see if this is going to be an engage. Nice dodge there with a W from Braum. They're going to still keep healthy, especially with the healing from Senna. They get the charm here, but it's not enough damage thus far. The true damage is still going to hurt a little bit on the Braum, but you are super tanky as this support. Nothing coming out to fruition just yet, Solari, but we can definitely see an aggressive stance coming out from both teams.
Very aggressive. Both of them are looking into opportunity to take out very important ultimates from the enemy team and to transfer it towards the Baron, ideally, or maybe some kills in that Baron, you know, would be perfect for either of them. Clash are really, though, taking a lot of control around the pit. So they are putting in the vision, they're clearing away the vision from the enemy team. They want to bait them again into the pit. They want to have Pandas fighting them in this terrain, which is risky because Pandas still have Maokai, but Maokai without vision is not really as useful as it could be.
Yes, it's true. You can place the saplings in the bush, but it's maybe going to hit. It's a 50-50. It's either a 50-50 as well if these teams are going to engage on something we know that Clash likes to do. Go for a bait is going to be behind the wall on the Fog of War. The charm hits and they're going to go full in on it. Senna gets the shielding on everyone, helps them keep them healthy. Soon going down is going to be our top laner for Clash. They don't, and it's going to be instead 2 more kills for Clash, and there's just 2 players remaining on the side of Pandas. Cut and Cole going to try to clear them out. Cosmic has to get away. Lilian is so tanky with the Aberfrost, with the Banshee, that she can definitely tank it for Cosmic. They're going to go and engage on the Baron, considering they don't have any damage to counter it. Pandas would have to give this one in.
And we need to get back to the Senna, don't we? Nobody is able on the side of Panda to get anywhere close to the backline of Clash and to neutralize that Senna. This is starting to become a huge problem for them, because if Clash really need to get to the enemy backline, even though for the majority of time they're not getting to Stratos Panda because they don't really need to, if the need arises, they have the tools to do so. With Vi, with Ari, they have very nice gap closers to get in there. If C want to do the same, they need to find very good flanking maneuvers, or they need to completely unleash their top laner. And then Mordekaiser is not going with an offensive build, so even if he gets to Senna, the chance that he's going to kill her in his ultimate are not really guaranteed. I am loving what is happening right now for Clash, for Senna. She's staying alive, she's keeping everybody alive, she's dealing the damage, everybody else is just there to clear up the way for her, except for Sana. Sana is there to take the kills and have fun.
Yes, she is. Solari with 5-0-3, 700 gold bounty for the Olaf. Senna really having a great time here. She has been doing so good on the split now front. We have them transitioning into a bot lane. The Everfrost is not going to hit, neither is the Chump. They're going to go in the ulti from Nautilus, and the Petrifying Gaze doesn't hit either. It's going to be a takedown on the tier 2 for Clash, and a lot of ultimates being used. We'll see if this is going to transition into another attempt on this inner turret. Yes, it is. They have so much damage to go in on it. You know the Shard doesn't have their ulti anymore. They're going to have to retreat now. Inhibitor is still going to remain, but it's 2 towers for Clash on this push.
And this is massive. Even despite the fact that they didn't get to the inhibitor, they're still trying to siege it, though. They're still trying to go for it. They have so much pressure everywhere else that they can focus right now, right here. And that would be a good transition for them, because if they destroy this inhibitor, they can immediately rotate towards the Drake and secure the soul point for themselves. Are Panda going to be able to defend? No. The answer is here, they're not going to be able to defend their inhibitor. It's a lane completely open for them, which puts them in a really, really hard situation. Right now, for Panda, the best outcome of this game would be to give away the soul for Clash as quickly as possible, not even try to fight for the 2 upcoming Drakes, and then hope for the Elder Dragon to come and have either a Baron or an Elder Dragon flip. But with their bot lane being completely destroyed, getting to the next Drakes is going to be so hard for them.
Clash at the same time is not going to let this game go into much longer than the Elder Soul. It would be very hard to see them drop the ball, since they have been playing so nicely done since the very first moment of the game. They have guaranteed the Cloud Soul now, the Cloud Drake, and the Soul Point. 5k gold ahead for Clash compared to Pandas, and the scores really say it all, don't they?
Oh, they do. Honestly, they do. I'm just looking at individual schools right now, and there's only 1 kill for everybody on the side of Pandas, which is a very fun and nice kill distribution if you think about it. But the numbers should be much, much higher for them at this moment in the game. They're falling behind. And with this team, if you fall behind in the mid game, your chances of a good transition into the late game, your chances even to survive until the very late game when finally you have more items in your pockets, you have the damage, you have the scaling, are really becoming slimmer and slimmer.
It's true, they're pushing in very hard. This tier 2 on the top lane has been exposed. They're pushing in the wave. They have a full-on team with Olaf in the mid lane. Should they want to split it, it would be a good effort as well. They're going to land their Charm and the Everfrost. A lot of damage that the Ahri has been able to output thus far. The true damage would be so necessary considering the amount of tanks on the enemy side. See, Pandas standing a very hard job of trying to defend that turret.
And it's going to be hard and harder for them. In 2 minutes, we're going to be talking about the next part of the game, but maybe right now we could be talking about fight. Both teams are looking into ways to go onto one another, and Vi is really almost finding a way from with the ultimate coming in, answering immediately. Shana is going in, Sana wants some kills, and Sana on the back lane, not being hit by anybody, hitting everybody on shields, guaranteeing 2 kills for her team already. Oh my goodness, CC immune is Sana going in so far away from her team, but everybody else getting go. Oh my god, the petrifying base is not hitting anybody. Beautiful dodge from Clash right now. Just dodge this 4th shot. No, maybe don't. You're still alive. It's still fine for you.
Oh, and on the other hand, look at this base going down on that TP as well. Excuse me. Lilian is coming in with not a full health bar. Cosmic is gonna take one tower shot, but a stopwatch is there. Another TP coming in is gonna be the Nautilus. And you have 4 players. All of a sudden, the flash forward with the hook is gonna go. The charm into the real damage from Lilian. What a finish for Clash. I've got chills right now. Clash takes the first game on this best of 3 in the semifinals.
It looks like you were correct with your predictions in the end, Solve, because I predicted a bloodbath. You predicted the game to be much slower, less bloodbath, more of, strategic